Simping. Simping has become an integral part of the internet quite recently, though of course, simping is not something completely new to the world. The obsequious love-seeking was always a bane of humanity, but simping has crystallized in the internet with the advance of e-girls and the onslaught of their simps. This new movement is generally odious for most of the people because of such brutish zeal the simps manifest that it often results in men losing their fortunes for the sake of their queens. There is, however, a nobler type of simping that only the noble spirits can recognize. We, the Hyperboreans, have a more exquisite and profound taste in everything than most of the ordinary man, and so we choose enemy girls over 3D thoughterry, and so it is bound to the sublime man to simp for the enemy damsels. And with this I do want to bring attention. What is there decent in modern anime simping, and what is a base taste? I deem there appeared an unprecedented surge of simping in the weeb community after the proclamation of the Hololive EN. The Holo EN has many pleasant things to offer to the connoisseurs of the anime culture, but, at least for me, hope for relishable simping sessions is lost due to inordinate vulgar simping of the most simple of simps. Hololive EN is the city of rapture, which is lost to the dirty fatuous simps. The major vice I want to point out in their being is their shallow sycophancy. It is their overwhelming endless cajoling that I cannot stand. It is their most innocuous and tartuferous interaction with a worshipped female that stigmatizes the anime community in the sight of people of decent taste. It is those most basic comments in the chat that are always apologetic or referencing most common jokes in the community. Whenever I enter a stream with a clear simping intent, there is always somebody typing lewd in the chat, thus denigrating a good taste in simping by searching irrelevant simping sexual context and really doing so with efficiency of some artificial intelligence that runs the data and gives you the classified output. The same thing goes to LOL. The chat is lol for 1 minute straight whenever something transpires with a funny level of a ball hitting a ground. This is just a shallow taste of the churls who bereave the opportunity for this simp gentry to behold the sight of their empress. Just like there are different levels of intellect that intellects the intelligibles in the Platonic philosophy, so are the strata of being in simping. The aforementioned buffoons that model the simping experience to the higher level of simps are most vulgar and basic of the simps. They are the lowest caste. Those who do not indulge in mindless sycophancy to feel worthy of presence of their queens are higher in the hierarchy. I think the loftiest of all simps are those who enjoy their Reginas with an acknowledgement that both they and their queens are independent and distant from each other, and that their interests are not that ubiquitous and numerous. But when these shared propensities align with each other, only then there is an authentic happiness in this simping. For when a base simp simps, he does not pay attention to the subtleties and details in the being of his queens. He merely adheres to his very basic and simple ideal of his queen in his mind, thus being neglectful of actual things his idol of simping has to offer. One example of this is the ban of the worshipped girls to have relationships with men. Most basic of simps see treachery in this act, notwithstanding its decency in healthy human life, for lowest of simps are the shallowest and most resentful. The highest class of simps, however, would rejoice in such situation when a girl they deem wholesome consummates her life with virtuous decisions she makes as a woman. Noble simps do not claim the hermitage of their queens, unlike the most basic simps who do not care about their queens authentically, for they are just slaves to the ecstatic visions in their heads. This is the same thing I have enunciated in my Philippic of idolatry in VTubers. The cherishable girl shall be cherished by somebody as a cherishable girl, or else she will wither away in solitude. And with this I also press on to say that simping, when taken into real consideration, is either the Platonic love or a corruption of Platonic love. It is authentic Platonic love when the simps simp for their queen based on her personality, and it is a contortion of the Platonic love when simps claim the body of their idols, thus making their insane interest unwholesome and unholy. Just like God who is dead, and who is dead because of us, let us not ruin the presence of our queens, for it is noble to indulge in pleasure and moderation, not the ruinous revelry that extinguishes the source of such happiness.